Okay, great. So hello everybody. I'm happy today to present for the first time for your user group. So thank you to Mirella and Ciprian for giving me the opportunity to do it. We will talk together today about So first of all, briefly, I work in Switzerland for a Swiss company, which is called DBI Services. We exist since 10 years. We work especially on the middleware part of the infrastructure. We work in Switzerland and also a little bit in Europe. And we offer several services to our customers. So I am Elisa. Here you have my contact in case you have some questions or you want to contact me about my presentation later on. You can find it here. I think you will have slides normally later on. I am MySQL 5.7 OCP certified. I am Oracle ACE Associate since 2 years. And I am also a member of the Italian Oracle user group. So the agenda for today. So we will talk about a wedding, but not only, also about, so we will have a little introduction to understand what we have for our monitoring tool, which is PMM. It integrates 2 other products, and we will see a little bit what these products are. Then we will have a look inside PMM to understand how it works and what it is. We will see how we can configure several databases to be monitored by PMM. And then we will have a little conclusion. So first of all, why we should monitor our database or our application. So first reason, to know the health of our system, which is normal because we want to know if our database is running, if our application has a problem, if something goes wrong. Then maybe to get optimal results, the database must be also optimized, and we need data for that. We would also like to identify performances problems. So we should have in place a proactive monitoring which helps us to identify these problems, for example, long-running queries, problems with tables, with indexes, for example. Then when our system, when we know our system in terms of resources, when we know our system in terms of load of user activities and so on, this can also help us to understand better our tasks. For example, reporting jobs, our maintenances, downtime, and so on. And also the capacity planning. So our application grows, and that means that we need more resources in terms of, again, memory, disk space, and so on. So we would like to have an idea of this growth. And in general, what we could monitor. So first of all, in our case, databases, our instances. We could also, in addition, monitor our host, the system. So the system also in terms of CPUs, of our resources, of memory, I/O, the network, our disks, storage, file system space, and we could also monitor at another level the application itself. So, for example, the number of HTTP requests, response codes, and stuff like that. And yeah, so nowadays in our companies, everybody knows that we have normally complex systems. So we have lots of technologies, different technologies. So maybe a good choice to select a good product, monitoring product, is to have a product which can monitor several databases, several technologies at one time. Then maybe we would have to compare some machine between them, some instances. We would like maybe to compare configuration, so which is the difference between two servers, for example. What is important also is to have a tool which offers us lots of features. So first of all, nice dashboards, graphs. With this tool, we could also have the alerts that we can turn on and stuff like that. And yeah, finally, what is also important is the price. So we will have to have a product which is not so expensive. So once upon a time, we had Prometheus. What is that? It's an open source tool which was developed especially for the event monitoring and the alerting. It's 100% driven by the community, so it's completely open source. Its components are available under the Apache 2 license, and most of these components are written in the Go language, which is almost similar to C. It was originally built by SoundCloud company. They are some people from Google. And you can find here the documentation if you want to read more about this product. Then if we have a look in detail about the components of Prometheus, so we have the central part is the Prometheus Server, which is composed by retrieval, the storage itself, and an HTTP server. The Prometheus server gathers and stores all the metrics as time series data. Then we have our clients, which are targets and exporters that provide and collect all the metrics. We could have, but this is not mandatory, a push gateway, which is an intermediary service which we can use, for example, for capturing the outcome of a service level batch job. And Prometheus can be integrated with the alert manager to handle alerts. So we can be notified if something goes wrong in our system. So if we have a look to some features, so Prometheus is a multidimensional data model which, with time series data which are composed by a pair, by a couple of a metric name, and a key, a value, which is associated to the metric. Prometheus offers a functional query language, which is called PromQL, Prometheus Query Language, which lets you select and aggregate this data in a real time. The result of this expression can be then visualized, shown in graphs, or can be consumed by external systems via HTTP API, for example. No reliance on distributed storage, so single server nodes are completely autonomous. Time series collection happens via a pool model over HTTP. So we don't have lots of load into our server because all the metrics are put from our clients into an HTTP page, and it's the server which gets all this information. Targets can be discovered automatically via a service discovery, or we can have, if we want, a static configuration. We have multiple modes of graphing and dashboarding, which I present. And then when we can use Prometheus, so if it's based, we told that it's based on time series data. So if we need this kind of metrics, it's good. If we really need to have 100% accuracy, so for example, as for per request billing, maybe it's not a good choice. Then, once upon a time, we had also Grafana. What is Grafana? Again, an open source tool, which is, first of all, developed to visualize data. Then you can have the monitoring, analysis, and the alerting, which is integrated. And again, as Prometheus is backed by the community, it's completely open source. You have several data sources to get your data into Grafana. So it's configurable with Prometheus, for example, but also with Graphite, with InfluDB, with Elasticsearch, and lots of other sources. And you can mix it together. So we have the possibility to have lots and lots of dashboards, plugins, and you can get it from the official library, or you can also develop your own dashboards. So you can really configure it as you want. Here you have the link if you want to read more about Grafana. So we have our schema that we saw before of Prometheus. If you want to integrate their Grafana, it's like that. So we can query metrics in Prometheus using PromQL in Grafana. And then we will visualize our metrics under dashboards, graphs. We can export it and so on. So now, an interesting topic. Which are the benefits of a wedding, of a marriage? So I'm talking about the wedding because I am old and I like a little bit old style stuff. I'm attached to old values, but you can see it like living together. Huh? It's the same. Which are, first of all, the requirements to have a good marriage, good wedding. Because what we saw till now, it's two products which are separated, and you can, if you want to put it in place a complete stack of monitoring, you can configure it, install it separately, and configure to work it together. But you have also another solution, which is maybe easier, is to have only one product which integrates both. So the requirement to do it works well, it's first of all a good communication. So these two products can have to communicate correctly. So the integration must be something easier. They have to have solid roots. What does it mean? You know that we can be happy in a couple if we are happy alone. And it's the same for other products. So if we have already some solid products that work well alone, we can then integrate them in a tool which will work well. If one of our products is already a product which is not so well, maybe you will have at the end not a good product. And yeah, common interest. And for Grafana and Prometheus, we saw that they have the common interest of monitoring, alerting, graphing your databases, and not only. And then, which are the advantages of the marriage, of living together, of the consolidation of these two products? So, sharing the space, task sharing, and the stability. So, the main point is that we don't have to install Prometheus, install Grafana to make it work together and to check if everybody is okay. We will see with the demo that it's really, really easy to configure PMM, which is the product which integrates Prometheus and Grafana. So, yeah, this is PMM. So a little introduction to Percona. So Percona was founded by Peter Zaitsev and Vadim Chachenko. Sorry for my pronunciation. They were both at MySQL. And at some point, they didn't share anymore the values of MySQL in terms of reserving some critical features only for paid subscribers. So they decided to co-found Percona in 2006. What is Percona? So it's a provider of open source solution, lots of environments that which is support with Percona, MySQL, MariaDB, MongoDB, Postgres, for example. So the main point is that you don't have a vendor lock-in, and you have the possibility to put in place environments on-prem and also into the cloud. And then what is PMM? So the Percona Monitoring and Management Tool. It's an open source tool for monitoring and managing, first of all, MySQL, Postgres, and MongoDB. It's developed by Percona. Here you have the link to the documentation. If we have a look to the architecture, so it's a platform which is based on a client-server model. So we have a PMM server, which is the central part of your monitoring tool, which aggregates and collects the data and presents it in forms of tables, dashboards, graphs, and so on in a web interface that we will see. And you have PMM clients, which are installed on every database host that you want to monitor. These clients collect the server metrics and all the metrics for your system, and also have the query analytics collector. You have also some other modules that are packaged with it. In detail, the server. So we have the PMM server with all the data which are stored into a Postgres database. Then we have the query analytics, which enables you to analyze MySQL or Postgres or other databases queries performance over a period of time. You have the metrics monitor, which provide historical views of metrics. And you have also some other third-party time series database which can collect stuff. For example, we see Grafana in the schema, ClickHouse, for example. Then how to install it? We will see in our demo, you have the possibility to use Docker to install the server, or you can install it via the open virtual appliance, which is given by Percona, or through the Amazon machine image. The requirements for the first option, so under Docker, is what we will see in my demo. It's a specific version of Docker. The storage, you need, PMM needs approximately 1 giga of storage for each database node to have a retention of 1 week. And then you need a minimum amount of 2 giga of memory for one monitoring database node, but it's not linear. So, for example, to monitor 20 nodes, you have could have 16 giga, for example, needed. Maybe we can start with real stuff, and we can see how to install the server. You will see that it's very easy. I have a problem with my... Okay, sorry. The server. So I have a VM for the PMM server. So I have the image. I used version 2 of PMM, which is the new one, and I have the image which I load. Okay, sorry, it was too quick. Okay, then I create the data, the persistent container for my data with the Docker create, which is there. And then I run the container for the PMM server. And I can check it's already healthy. So just to have the IP of my VM, this one, and we can now directly connect to the HTTP with my IP of the PMM server on the port 80. This is the main console of PMM. And you see that in some seconds, we have the server which is installed. So really easy and quick to put in place. And here we can see that he has already one monitor node, which is itself actually, with one monitor DB, which is, as we said, the Postgres database, is database. So let's come back to slides to see how the client is. So it's a package. So the clients, as we said, collect all the data. And it's a package which is composed by several components. We have the PMM admin, which is the command line tool for managing PMM. For example, for add or remove database instances and so on. We have the PMM agent, which is the client-side component for the command line interface. We have the node exporter, which is installed directly when we install the client, and it exports all the metrics linked to the system. Then we have several other exporters that we can activate then if we want, for example, to monitor a MySQL instance, a MongoDB instance, a Postgres instance. So yes, we saw that. For the client, how to install it. So we have several packages that we can use. It depends on our system. And the requirements, is just to have different host name, because PMM based the recognition of the different hosts. It's based on host name, so you cannot have two clients with the same name. 100 mega for your client to be installed, and a good connection to the server. So let's have a look on how we can easily also install the client. So I am on another VM. I have the package PMM2 for the client, for my system. I just launched the command PMM admin config with the URL of my server and with the IP of my client. This is important to put this value. It's not mandatory, but if, for example, if you have several network cards, you could have problems. So I suggest you to put that. And then we fill out now the command PMM admin list. We can see that the agent is installed. It also has, I told you, also the node exporter. And this is just to show you the configuration file. It's on YAML file. If we come back to our console, normally, we can see here that we have now two monitoring nodes. So we have the PMM server and the PMM client, which is monitoring. So for example, if you want already to have a look to our nodes, we have already lots of metrics which are collected. This is the server, this is the client, so you can see for every, you have lots of information about your machine and so on. Come back to our slide. So we saw that. We see some parts of PMM in detail. So we have lots of dashboards. We have default dashboards which are pre-configured when you install PMM. As we saw, for example, for MySQL. You have a list of lots of dashboards which are already there if you want to use it. And otherwise, you have also the possibility to create your custom dashboards or to import some dashboards that you can find on the grafana.com site under Git or other sites. The basic, the main point, so it's our metric. We have several settings for PMM. I put there some stuff which are maybe interesting, such as the different resolution of collection of metrics, and also the retention time, so you can change it. Also an option called Home, which is activated by default when you install it, and it sends automatically some information such as your ID, unique ID information of PMM and your version, for example, to Percona, and you will have a check if you are up to date with the version, for example, or not. And also another interesting thing is that under diagnostic, you can click on download PMM server logs, and you have lots of files that are downloaded. And if you have a problem with your PMM server, you can try to fix it and have information about the problem into these files. The alerting, so you have a section where you can find information about the alert rules and the notification channels. So you can define different notification channel. Actually, you have two ways to get alerts if you have a problem. So you can use the Grafana alerting feature, which is directly integrated into PMM, which is really easy to set up. The main problem is that you have to go under every alert tab of any dashboard of the Graph panel, and you have to configure the alert for your metrics. So if you have lots of hosts, you can see, yeah, it can be a little bit a problem. There is another way which is more sophisticated. It's to use the external Prometheus Alert Manager, which is easier to manage if you have lots of clients. Lots of stuff to monitor, but for the moment it's not integrated into PMM, but it will come with the next releases. So I think that you can already put in place, but you have a note into the PMM documentation telling you that maybe it's not so well to use it in production for the moment because it's under development. But it will come soon. Yeah, and it's a new feature of PMM starting by the version 2.3. So now you can already use it, but you have to configure this external Prometheus Alert Manager. And this is the console where you can configure your alerts. For the user management, so lots of things that you can configure. You can also have different roles. So you can have people who want to connect to PMM as an admin. You can see some stuff also as a viewer, or you can be an editor of metrics. And you can define for your user which kind of role you want. Yeah, the query analytics, so it's an important part of PMM. It's this kind of dashboard where you can find information. So if you are a DBA or a developer, you can find information to analyze your problems in terms of performances. If you have problems with queries, long queries and stuff like that, to identify which is the query which have a problem to fix it. So now, if you want to see how to configure PMM for different databases, for example, for MySQL, We just have to make attention to the fact that with the new 8 version of MySQL, the new authentication plugin is a caching SHA-2 password, which is not supported for the moment by PMM. So you need to create the monitoring user as with the MySQL native password. It's very easy to add the service, the MySQL service. And you can do it through the slow query log or the performance schema. But maybe it's better to see it directly here under our demo. So now I have my server, I have my client, and I just start up my instances. So I have 2 MySQL instances here. Okay. And sorry. Now we can configure the monitoring for that. So that's our services here. So I launched the command PMM admin add MySQL is the kind of service that I want to add. Which kind of source I want to use, so the slow log, or you can use also the performance schema. The username, the monitoring username that you created under your instances with the password, the name that you want to put to your PMM service, and the IP with the port. And the same for the second instance. So now if I launch again on my client, the PMM admin list, I see that apart the agent that I had before, the node exporter, I have also 2 new services for my 2 instances, the MySQL slave and the master with the exporters. I just can place some load into my system. And if we check now in our console, yeah, we see now that we have 3 services, DB services, which are configured under MySQL. For example, instance overview, or instance summary. So I can have metrics of my MySQL master and of my MySQL slave. So again, with the command, I put in place all the monitoring collection. So you can do it the same for if you have some MariaDB Galera cluster. So you have to add the service for every node with the same command. It's the same thing. It's the same for MariaDB single instances. Then you can configure the same way Postgres. So you just have to adapt your Postgres configuration like that. You have to create the Postgres monitoring user and create the extension pgstat statements and adapt the configuration to connect to let the monitoring user to connect to your instance. And then with the same command, you can monitor your Postgres instance. Maybe we can see it. Normally, I have a Postgres instance also running here. Yes. So this is my configuration file for access. This is the configuration of Postgres, the options that I added. And I launched the command PMM admin add PostgreSQL, the kind of service, the username, the password, like before, the name that I want to use for my service, and again, the IP and the port to connect to my Postgres instance. And if I check it again, so I have, oh, sorry, it was just to generate some load, but we have in addition now our Postgres service, which is there. Come back to our console. No, I want to take Postgres instance summary. So I have two services. This one is the backend of my PMM. And this one is the new one that I added just now. So the version 12. And is already collecting metrics. Sorry. So again, easy to configure. For Oracle, it's a little bit different. So we have, before using this command to add the service, we have to do some other stuff because Oracle is not directly integrated into PMM. So we can download an external exporter. So with PMM, you have also the possibility to use some external exporters that you can find into the Git, for example, or you can develop your own exporters, and you can then integrate that into PMM. So I downloaded for Oracle here an exporter, and I just have to adapt the configuration file to connect to my Oracle database, and I launched the exporter in this way. Then this is the command, which is a little bit different now to add the service, because we use the word external, service name, the name that we want to use for our service, and on which port we are listening. Then we could add under the dashboard, we could add a new folder for Oracle. And then to visualize our data, we have to import some JSON files that we also find into this package that we downloaded. And we import that into our PMM console. And then we will have some dashboards for Oracle. The overview with some metrics already configured, table spaces, occupation, and other stuff. I don't know how much time we have. Maybe.
We have another 5 minutes, including questions.
Okay, so maybe. Yeah, I don't think we have time, sorry, to see the demo for Oracle, but yeah, if you want to see it, don't hesitate to contact me later, and I can give you some more details about this this part.
Okay, thank you.
So we just, yeah, I just have a little conclusion.
Sure.
Thank you. So yeah, just to say that you can configure a lot of things with PMM. It's not only the things that we saw together, but you can really have other things that you could find into the GitHub, Grafana.com, Prometheus.com, or you can develop your own exporters. And just to see together for me, which are the advantages and the drawbacks of this tool. So first of all, we don't need a license. It's a completely open source product, which is developed by the community. It's really customizable, so you can configure, customize your PMM as you want. Yeah, it's a tool that lets you monitor lots of different technologies, lots of stuff I didn't show you, but you have nice graphs about operating system, about network, and so on. So you have only one tool to monitor lots of different things. And you have plenty of features with alerting. With alerting, for example, you can configure to receive alerts or on your email, with Slack, with different systems. Some drawbacks, yeah, the documentation is not so complete. So the first time maybe that you discover the product and you want to play a little bit with it, if you didn't know it before, it can be a little bit tricky. One drawback that I saw is that for the moment, the server cannot be installed by packages. As we saw, you have the possibility to install it under Docker, under some appliances, or into AWS, but you cannot use packages. And maybe it's not for beginners. Yeah, you have to have some knowledge, maybe in terms of monitoring already, and to know how maybe Prometheus and Grafana are a little bit, works a little bit to understand the product, even if it's integrated. And thank you for your time. If you have some little question, because I think we don't have lots of time. But...
Okay, thank you, Elisa. So if there is anyone who wants to raise a question, it is mandatory to unmute and then jump into the discussion. Before anyone starts, I wanted to ask how long have you used this tool in production, and how many databases are you monitoring with this tool?
On my side, I discovered this product at the beginning of this year, so 12 months ago, and it was for a study for a customer which was looking for a monitoring solution for several technologies and databases, because they have Postgres, they have Oracle, they have MySQL, MariaDB, and they want to have a nice tool. They want to have also nice graphs, because what I didn't say maybe is that with Grafana, you really have nice graphs that you can use also to show to your managers, for example, or if you want to have a room with graphs to understand if you have problems with your system. It's really nice to have it. So it was for these studies for these customers, and we are now under the POC to put that in place.
Okay, and what kind of flavor do you use? The Docker or the Azure? No, not Azure. Amazon.
The Docker for the moment. For the moment, okay. I didn't test it with Amazon. Yeah.
Okay.
But I would like to test it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else?
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we will end this